taking a path that had one time been mine, crumbling now I see the garden wall is falling down in the embrace of passing time. I've been a fool before, I hope it's not held over me, burning my feet upon the drifting sand, blinded by certainty, with spirits dancing through my hands. Embrace of rhyming rhymes. Though I lay my head on a planet strong, or a fine woven feather bed, I will find as sure as the wind to the fields of Elysium. I saw a friend of mine walking on a winter's day, taking a breath that had at one time been mine, stumbling now I see the garden wall beneath my feet, the embrace of passing time. Though I lay my There's a knowing I don't know that much of anything, and by that I mean I'm hopeful. By that I mean I'm hopeful. There's the rush of life, passion play. There's a slowing down, a fading away, and the only thing that keeps me sane is trying to wrap my head around all that words can't say, and by that I mean I'm hopeful. By that I mean I'm hopeful. I'll take my place, stand my ground, till I give it up, till I back down, and the only thing that keeps me sane is believing in someone I've never been, and by that I mean I'm hopeful. By that I mean I'm hopeful. Though I can be a blind man without your eyes, wandering lost, there'd be no surprise. A blind man, but an open book. I left beside this road I took. It's a short, sweet life, but some days drag on, where all I wanna do is sit in silence till the day is gone, and by that I mean it's the only thing, it's the only thing that keeps me sane, and by that I mean I'm hopeful. By that I mean I'm hopeful. By that I mean I'm hopeful.
Good morning. Happy International Tongue Twister Day. Does anybody have a favorite one? Peter Piper picked a peck. I started to try to work a bunch of them into the service, but I didn't think y'all wanted to see me stumble through all of them. So it's also National Pneumonia Day. So since we're talking about breathing, I thought that one might be appropriate. It's also National Pizza with the Works Except for Anchovies Day. All of these important matters need to be elevated and contemplated, along with everything else that we bring that's important. Thank you for being here. This is a church that's built around covenant, not creed. We don't have to think alike to value alike the way we live this life, and that we need to treat one another respectfully, even if we don't agree. It's not an easy path, but it is ours. And to that end, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us in mutuality, you are always welcome. We'll have a few little announcements. But one I want to mention is that After the service today, if anyone is here who is interested in membership, we're having a newcomer session. It'll probably last about half an hour if you would like to stay and get a little bit more information about the church. And I have our board president coming up. There was also another member at large that's coming up. Okay.
This week, you got notice that we are having several different discussion groups on who we are, who we want to be, where do we want to go forward. This will help inform the board as we are looking for a new venue, a new place to be, a new place to be a new us. So please look at your newsletter. It will be also on the website of where to find and sign up. The first one is tomorrow night. So far, we only have one person signed up. But please come, share your views, share your concerns, share who you want this church to be. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. So our next Friday night at 7, we're having our game night. So y'all need to come and play with us. It's always a lot of fun. December the 9th, we're having a combination moving sale / holiday market. If you want to have a booth at the holiday market, it's $25 fee, and that'll be a good thing to participate in. Our giveaway, the plate this month, is Northwest Louisiana Food Bank. A lot of people have food insecurity, so if you can donate to that, that would be greatly appreciated. And let's see, Volunteer of the Month, Barbara Dager. She's been teaching the adult RE with Susan for the longest, and also she does therapeutic horseback riding with children, and she's a poet. She shares that in worship service quite a lot, and we're just really glad to have her as part of us. And I think Amanda needs to make an announcement, and also on Thanksgiving Day, we'll actually, for people that want to come up here and hang out, we'll have something that day at 2. But she's got to talk about the big feast.
Absolutely.
I like to feast.
Hi, y'all. My name's Amanda. I'm here as the, I guess, still chair of the, whatever. I'm the potluck lady is what I am. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and potlucks might be my favorite spiritual practice. So next Sunday, which is the giant All Souls Thanksgiving potluck, is just one of my very favorite days of the year. Most of the time we have what we call Trust the Universe potlucks, where just people bring some stuff and people stay and eat and it all seems to work out fine. But this one we try to be a little bit more intentional about. So I have a sign-up genius, so you can go in and see if somebody's already bringing the mashed potatoes, then maybe you want to bring the green beans instead, so that we don't end up with 17 mac and cheeses. Although that would be great. So at any rate, if you know what you want to bring, you can just tell me and I'll add you to the list. But I can also show you a QR code, and that link will get sent out in email this week. It's a really good time. It's a good time that we sort of, we bring our A game. So we bring some of our, maybe our Thanksgiving favorites or something new we want to try out. If you are not a cook, no problem. We always need somebody to grab some sweet tea, and we could always use a little help washing the dishes at the end. So I hope everybody will be here and eat with us. It's a really great time to be together.
I don't really have much to add except that the holiday market that Susan Yellett mentioned will be in conjunction with our giant moving sale, our giant garage sale, basically. So yes, if you're a vendor, if you do jewelry or any art of any kind, by all means, get a booth. I think our booth fees are pretty low compared to other markets. But if you just want to come and shop, you can, A, shop those vendors, but B, you can shop our garage sale. We're going to have lots of good stuff, lots of treasures. So come check it out. That's December 9th, 11 to 4.
Saturday. Next Saturday is Election Day. Please, please, please vote if you have not. Yes, we actually are working towards doing announcements the way they do in Baton Rouge, where they only have 3. As you can see, we're still a long way from that, but we were going to start leaving out the regular announcements. But next week is also Building and Grounds. And I was thinking we had another week before our Thanksgiving feast, so thank you for pointing that out. All right. Be here now. Let the pew hold you up and take a couple of comfortable breaths. In this hour, may we be open to treasured friendships, a renewal of spirit. May we relinquish the worries and anxieties of the past week, if just for this hour, and regain our strength through the act of opening and through this community of faith. Here in this sanctuary of ancient dreams and wisdom and beauty, we come to grow, to be healed, to stretch our mind and hearts, to be challenged, renewed, spiritually reinvigorated, to be helped in our own continuing struggles for meaning and for love, to help build a world with more justice and mercy in it, to be counted among the hopers and the doers. In the face of cynicism, darkness, brutality around us and within, we seek to align ourselves with a living community, a living tradition that would affirm rather than despair, that would think and act rather than simply adjust and succumb. Here we invite the spirit of our own humanity and the healing powers under, around, through, and beyond it to give us the nerve and grace, the toughness and sensitivity to search out the truth that frees and the life that maketh all things new. Would someone like to lead the first part of our chalice lighting?
To celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is a church of the open mind. This is a church of the helping hands. This is a church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate it. We light this single flame to remind us of the oneness of the web, this web of which we are a part. The oneness of the human family, no matter how many subdivisions get articulated or enforced. The oneness of this congregation in all our differences. We come together with our tired minds and bodies, with our confusion and questions, with our uncertainties and fears, but also with our hopes, with our pasts and our ideas, with our passions, visions, and faith. We come together bringing all of who we are, trusting that in gathering we will be renewed, and that together we can create the world we long for. We say to ourselves, I belong. I'm here. I will be and do. I will breathe joy into desolation. I will breathe peace into conflict. I will breathe life into destruction. I will be the earth I wish to see. Would you join me, please, in the unison affirmation, rising in body or spirit? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Our opening hymn is going to be Meditation on Breathing. It has 3 parts, and I'm going to ask Ms. Susan to help me with this. Is that, no, it may be too low.
When I breathe in.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. And okay, under that, people with lower voices can go, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And that's all there is to that part. There's another one that goes over the top, but let's try those two together first, okay? Pick whichever one you want to do. When I breathe in, then
I'll breathe in
out.
When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
Sally, do you know the one that goes over the top?
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Okay, that's the other one. So we got, y'all want to try that one? It's, let's do that one by itself first. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Okay, let's try all three of them. You're just going to be grabbing your part. You have to make decisions here in this life. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. When I breathe in,
I'll breathe in
breathe out.
When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
Is everybody winded now? Thank you. Take some breaths and have a seat, please.
And so, speaking of taking some breaths, that's what we're going to do. Is anybody familiar with box breathing, or sometimes it's called square breathing? Yeah, Eva, tell us about that. Would you rather I tell us about that? I never want to put anybody on the spot, but you raised your hand so enthusiastically. So box breathing or square breathing is just, you'll see the little diagram here. It's, you're going to breathe in where it goes up. So you think of the square, and you can make your square a rectangle if you want, like, especially a lot of times people that have played wind instruments, when we do exercises like this and you're doing 4 counts, they're going, wait a minute, I've got all this air I've still got to let out for at least 4 more counts. So you can do like 8 counts and 4, or you can do it square like this, 4 counts in, and then you hold for 4, and then 4 counts out, and then you hold for 4. And you just do that several times. It's a really good thing to do when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling maybe a little panicky even. Let's try it together. So we're just going to do 4. When you do this at home, you could do 8, you could do 12, whatever doesn't make you pass out. You do what works for you, but we're all going to do 4 together. Unless you just, okay, that's another sermon on another day. But so we're going to do in for 4, and you in through your nose, and then gently out through your mouth. So ready? And every time you do it, I want you to remember, we're always telling you, drop your shoulders down. Whenever you exhale, let your shoulders drop. And if you do this 2 or 3 times, you're going to find on that exhale they can drop a little bit more. You didn't realize throughout the day, throughout the morning, even if you've had kind of a busy morning, you don't realize how they creep up on you. So let's just try it. Let's do it about 3 times through. You ready? How do you feel? Feel better? Yeah? It's just something it's a tool you can put in your toolbox, something you can kind of hold on to whenever you feel nervous or panicky, or and I'll tell you one more secret weapon, and that's singing. A lot of times, especially if you're breathing really quickly, and I know some people are going, oh no, nobody wants to hear me sing. This is not about anybody hearing you sing. This is about you singing, because you know what it does? It monitors your rate and depth of breathing, okay? That's a really fancy way to say singing makes you breathe more evenly. And whether you realize it or not, it calms you down. So let's just try this. I want everybody to sing whatever you want to sing. Just right now, we're going to sing all different songs. It doesn't matter. You ready? Let's go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Don't you feel better? Wasn't that kind of fun? So, box breathing and singing. Those are my tips for today, and thank you, and let's sing the children and youth to their classes. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
I want to add one poem that's not going to be credited on the screen. It's from Mary Oliver. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How 2 hands touch, and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, "Look," and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. This comes from John Oliver. I mean, John O'Donohue. There's a place in you where you have never been wounded, where there is still a sureness in you, where there's a seamlessness in you, and where there is a confidence and tranquility in you. And I think the intention of prayer and spirituality and love is now and again to visit that inner kind of sanctuary. From Stephen Dick. There's rarely enough silence in our services. Perhaps we are too busy for silence. Perhaps we are afraid of what we might discover. Today, we will give silence its place. Our meditation will include several minutes of silence, a luxury in this far from silent world. Let us pause to listen to the unheard world. Let us pause to listen, relax into a comfortable position. Breathe in and out very slowly. Quiet yourself and listen to the rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of your heart. Listen to the silence. You will think something. Let it pass into you and through you. You will feel something. Let it pass into you and through you. Spend some time in the unheard world. sometimes things can stack up and make what's not particularly easy a little bit tougher. This is such a mild example, but the first part of the week, I got a couple of vaccinations. So by the middle of the week, my energy that I usually have to work for pretty good to make it happen at all was a little bit more depleted than usual. And so when that happens, I start looking for what I can change. I don't know if that ever happens to you or not. I'm guessing that it does, that sometimes things get a little bit more of a slog than ordinarily, and you have to be a little bit more mindful about what to do to change that. I love that John O'Donohue quote that I did in the meditation about, if you'll allow me, I'll read it again. There's a place in you where you have never been wounded, where there is still a sureness in you, where there's a seamlessness in you, and where there is a confidence and tranquility in you. And I think the intention of prayer and spirituality and love is now and again to visit that inner kind of sanctuary. When we touch on subjects like prayer and meditation, or even spirituality here, the members of the congregation have very different feelings about all of those topics, and different experiences and vastly varied responses. I want to advocate for a momentary suspension of those knee-jerk responses, or well-established responses, perhaps, so that I might relate that O'Donohue quote to our assorted diets of media, engagement in justice work, interactions with those who would see the world through lenses very different than ours. The confidence he mentions is an asset that allows us to stay open without feeling threatened. Opened someplace that we don't have to defend. Now, there are very real threats in the world, and I'm not talking about leaving yourself open for those. What I'm talking about is getting underneath that to a place that you can keep an openness of spirit that doesn't get threatened. But accessing it has to be intentional. And it helps when it's a habit or a practice or a discipline. The tranquility he mentions is a tool that allows us to interact even with ourselves at levels that might be easier to hide from. It's a presence that still affects the magnetics and energetics and interactions we have, even if it's tremendously subtle. It changes how we feel in the world and how we feel to the world. I know people aren't necessarily going to agree with that. The seamlessness is about full awareness of wholeness and integration with the rhythms and balances of true self, nature, and existence. The life force that fills us and that began all this and that carries beyond us. The intentional exercise of opening ourselves to a vastness we cannot grasp changes the way we move through the world. No matter what our thinking is about the underlying or overarching source, cause, spirit, origin, or direction of life, these exercises are commitments to being generators of more justice and beauty in the world and within our own skin. The confidence I think he talks about is not pompous, it's not arrogance, it's not hubris, it's not even something I would equate with pride. But for all of those reasons, I beseech any of us, any of you who do not currently have a regular practice of prayer or meditation or centering or quieting and listening beyond our regular thinking, getting our thoughts higher and our feelings deeper. I'm asking each of us to commit to trying this simple activity every day for the season of Thanksgiving. I'm not saying how long. I'm not saying what form. But I'm asking that we be intentional about spending some time in that quiet, in that stillness, no matter how uncomfortable, to try to allow our beings to be part of the soup. Breathing in peace, breathing out love. It's a tall order in these times of local, national, and international peril. How do we sustain a quiet, easy confidence? Y'all know I'm lousy at that. But I know that those exercises change my capacity. At least enough to prevent me from being swallowed by the informational and political landslides, the avalanche of things beyond my control that swirl around, calling us to be clearer and stronger and more fully present than perhaps we have ever been before. But if we do the same things we always do, how can we get better? What's something that we do have control over that we can add in that might help just a little? Just a little more. Emerson said, "A great man is always willing to be little." Is there something before which we can humble ourselves? It's just a question. Before which we can be open and humble at the same time without beating ourselves up, without feeling less than somebody else or not good enough. There are people who live prayerfully throughout the day. That's an amazing and disciplined practice until it becomes habit. Though it's achievable if we want it. Otherwise, we need tools to help us maintain hope and kindness and joy. Not artificial, not faking it till we make it. Although I'm not saying those practices are bad. Otherwise, we're in a stasis, in a holding pattern. And what we do will have the same flux. There's another O'Donohue quote from an interview that he did with Krista Tippett before he died, not long before he died. Krista Tippett had a show on public radio that had a couple of names. On Being was the last name, and she interviewed John O'Donohue, and I heard that interview. Krista Tippett was one of the Ware lecturers at General Assembly, the Unitarian Universalist International Convention. And the Ware lecture is the most touted, I think, lecture of that assembly. She did a fabulous job. This interview, he's in the middle of answering a question from her. He says, I think that, and it's the question of beauty. You're asking essentially, as we are speaking, that there are individuals holding out on front lines, holding the humane tissue alive in areas of ultimate barbarity, where things are visible that the human eye should never see. And they're able to sustain it because there is in them some kind of sense of beauty that knows the horizon that we are really called to in some way. He goes on, I love Pascal's phrase that you should always keep something beautiful in your mind. And I have often, like in times when it's been really difficult for me, if you can keep some kind of little contour that you can glimpse sideways at now and again, you can endure great bleakness. He's saying if you have an image of something that's truly beautiful that you can cast your mind to when you're surrounded by things that would overwhelm you with darkness and gravity that we can't get past. They can change our hearts, they can change our spirits, they can help us survive. That something beautiful is yours to identify and keep however you file it so that you can find it when you need it. But so it's so very needed and great The need is great, and ultimately, it's necessary for the life around us to maintain something better than what has been here before. Find, choose, plant a beautiful image to turn to remind you, to sustain you, to restore you. You are needed. I am needed. Our hearts, our strength, our kindness are needed. I was going to have us do a couple of different songs, but I guess we can just do the second one. The song, our closing hymn, will be 159, actually. My notes don't say that. They say 15. But, if you would rise in body or spirit, I would invite Susan and Sally and Bob up to help us. What are our first notes? When we have Susan in the choir, we don't have piano.
If you're a pianist, contact us.
Please. If you would like to play, we would love to have you.
Oh, wait, this is the bass line,
I never know how I want to count this.
This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
When all is quiet and we are small and the night is dark, may we hear the tender breathing of all who wait with us, who lie awake with us, perhaps in fear, maybe in anticipation, or simply restlessness, that together we may gather the confidence, the strength, and courage to live with love and kindness and confidence. As flame is to spirit, so spirit is to breath, and breath to song. Though we extinguish the flame in this sanctuary, may we tend it in our hearts. Walk softly, speak truthfully, love gently, breathe deeply, live wisely. May we honor and hold gently our past. May we live fully our present. May we hope toward and build a beautiful future, living our mission, our covenant, to be a spiritual community, to welcome all that might be marginalized and any that would come, to nurture one another, to accept and encourage each other on our paths, to work for justice, learning more and more about what we don't know, the ways that we have fallen short, so that we might call again one another to love, to trying to improve, and to care for the earth with healing, justice, service, and love. Let us go forth in joy, live in peace, breathing life in deeply, breathing peace out into the world around us so that we may return in love. Namaste, Ashe, Amen. So be it, and blessed be.
Working on a ship we may never sail on. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on, but we're gonna build it anyway. Sojourner Truth said, ain't I a woman? Ship gonna sail someday. Mother Jones said, no child labor. Ship gonna sail someday. Eugene Debs said, no more prisons. Ship gonna sail someday. And Joe Hill said, don't mourn, organize. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on, but we're gonna build it anyway. Mother Bloor said, sit down. Ship gonna sail someday. Paul Robeson said, I won't stop singing. Ship gonna sail someday. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. Ship gonna sail someday. Malcolm X said, power to the people. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on, but we're gonna build it anyway. Dorothy Day said, swords into plowshares. Ship gonna sail someday. And Cesar Chavez said, viva la huelga. Ship gonna sail someday. Judy Berry said, no more compromise. Ship gonna sail someday. Phil Berrigan said, no more atom bombs. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on, but we're gonna build it anyway. Now they're all gone, but we're still building. Ship gonna sail someday. That ship's gonna sail to peace and justice. Ship gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on. Ship's gonna sail someday. Working on a ship we may never sail on, but we're gonna build it anyway. We're gonna build it anyway. We're gonna build it anyway.